Director Bob Clark is known for the legendary eternal movie that is A Christmas Story. Played on 24 hours every single Christmas on TBS. And it's just like, yes, it is indeed a legendary movie. But at the same time, he also directed A Black Christmas, which I'll review within time, and Porky's. The one-size-fits-all edition. Good, clean, dirty fun, says Newsweek. Nothing you've ever seen is likely to prepare you for the sheer raunchiness and comedic outrageousness of Porky, says the LA Times. And this pumped-up one-size-fits-all edition boasts a treasure trove of special features that will leave you squealing with pleasure. From a revealing commentary to never-before-seen featurettes and more, this unrivaled, uncensored, unbelievable DVD set delivers loads of laughs and a happy ending. Welcome to this hilarious, raunchy comedy with the most anticipated climax in motion picture history. Join the comic misadventures of 6 horny teenagers in the 1950s who are desperate to satisfy their adolescent sexual urges. When they strike out on their own, they decide to pool their resources and get it at Porky's, a honky-tonk strip joint with a bad reputation. But when the owner of Porky's rips them and humiliates them, they plot a revenge scheme that really goes all the way. So yeah, this is actually a trilogy this is the first part in a trilogy of the cult classic, I guess that would be. Because it's got about roughly 48,000 ratings on the IMDb. It's sandwiched in between the Christmas Story and Black Christmas, so it's kind of like the Odd Child it's the more interesting Bob Clark movie. I mean, this movie is 100% penis jokes come to life. There are so many legendary scenes alone. I mean, the artwork, just to give you an idea, this is like it's men in fictional Angel Beach, it's boys in fictional Angel Beach, Florida, who are trying to lose their virginity. They are so gosh darn perverted and horny that they look through the they're a little like you know where you have the hot and cold for like a shower. It's like those have been removed and they can easily look through in the girls' locker room shower and peep. I mean, they have to remove a brick and go inside. I mean, that scene alone is just, it's iconic. What was that? Ranked on number 4 of like the top 10 or top 20 gratuitous nudity scenes, and that's there on the IMDb trivia in 2014. That's what it is. And for certain parts, this movie is freaking funny. This is, like I said, it's dick jokes in a movie, okay? There's condoms. There is a single 4-minute take in which Bellbricker, the coach, is sitting, and there's the 2 boys in the background. There's the principal and there's the head coach, where she is in very slow motion describing a tallywhacker. I would prefer to call it a tallywhacker because calling it a penis makes it seem more personal. And just the fact that all the men are trying to contain their laughter, but Nancy Parsons is just delivering it with the straightest face possible. And they even go as far as to say they can get some sketch artists to come in and sketch the offending member and put up wanted posters for it with a mole. Just Google it. YouTube it. It's done in one take. It is one of the funniest things you'll ever see. And then at the end, they zoom into a picture of the principal who breaks down at the end, showing him refined and smiling in a painting. All right? And of course, you're wondering, what is Porky's? It's a honky-tonk strip joint that's played by Chuck Mitchell, who is a 6'3" imposing figure with a deep, loud voice. He does it really well, because he is a villain. And what's going on inside is just raunch and debauchery. And, it's like they decide that they're going to get revenge on him because it's like, hey, we'll pay you some money if you give us a couple of your women, so that way we can lose our virginity. Ultimately, he humiliates them by just ejecting them down into the river below. And says, and then of course, then a corrupt cop comes in and says, having a broken taillight, shoots it, $35, and then a backlight, $15. Is like, don't ever come back here again. Consider that a warning. And this movie is for guys, but there's also underlying anti-racist themes, in the sense of, like, there's this dad who's says, you lost a fight to a Jew, and that just ultimately just does go to show that, yes, there unfortunately is prejudice like that still going on. It was still it was happening in some towns in the 1950s, and it's still going on today. And that stuff is just an abomination to mankind. All the hatred just because of someone's just a different person. It's like, that stuff can go hug a cactus. And, and it does fit in well. That is one of the more interesting themes, because unfortunately that stuff was happening. But anyway, there is the so it's like, but you can see the camaraderie between all the boys. It feels real and genuine, because they're also convinced that they want to lose it. But when one of them, Mickey, goes out to fight Porky, but he gets beaten up pretty badly, they decide to enact a revenge plan, and they do what they can. And it's like, all right, I actually like to see where this is going, and there's a good genuine friendship, and you kind of just want to hang out with them if they just dropped all their perverted tendencies. Like, they kind of like got jobs where they were still just guys. That's the connection I felt with them. It was pretty good. But yeah, they tease, they tell dick jokes and everything else like that. It's like, that's what this movie is. This movie is, if you just want sleaze, because it is just 100% sleaze, and we do get some, but yeah, it's like, unfortunately, some people say it's like, yeah, the women are sexualized and things like that, and it's like, yes, that's something that has, not aged particularly well. But this has won over with the audiences in 1981, and the critics disliked it. They even, I think, what was that? One of the distributing company was going to place this in some obscure markets, just hoping that it would fail. But apparently, it was so popular that Fox said, okay, Norman Levy, you distributed this movie. You're the one that made it famous, so here's all the praise towards you. So, this, yes, it was, what was that? One of the most popular movies in Canada, I think, for at least a couple of years, because I'm thinking that's where the test marketing was, and I can see why. This is a, this inspired of all the movies that would come out, all the horny teen comedies, like, a little bit of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, American Pie. This was after Animal House, so it kind of took a little bit of influence from Animal House, but ultimately, I think that this one, despite it, being extremely perverted, there is some underlying messages about the anti-racism and just the, just getting revenge on a sleazeball, just doing it the way how they could. I personally think that you have to be in the right mindset, in the right mood to watch this, and because it's certainly not a family picture. This movie it's raunchy. It's the first in the trilogy. So yeah, I will be reviewing the other two soon. So, but if you want something that's truly raunchy from the 1980s, inspired other teen comedies, then I recommend that you watch Porky's.